What's up, everybody? Welcome to Journey Through the Generations podcast. We're back with another episode of the Relative Race Recap.
Yes, we are at episode 7. So we are more than halfway there. And this episode was, again, really good.
And I think what we should do is before we start, talking about day 7, I would like to address all the shenanigans, I guess is what I'll call it.
Okay.
Around everything going on Facebook, the fans of Relative Race group, and the people playing the game. I think we should address this.
Okay.
This will be the last time we address it, unless somebody starts acting up again.
Okay.
So look, here's my thing. We all know that when you're on TV or when you're on social media, you're on a reality TV show, people say negative things about you.
Yes. And no matter how good you are, they'll find something.
Absolutely. And most of the time when I hear people talk about the negative stuff on YouTube or whatever, it's always a very small percentage of people.
Yes.
So if there are 100 people that commented, one person says something bad and 99 is something good.
The majority of the time, this show gets positive feedback and energy.
Yes. And me personally, this is how I feel, Phillip. This is what I feel. I feel like the response from Relative Race and the fans of Relative Race Facebook page went too far to me, to where you can't say anything about the people without them telling you that it's negative. Now, we've said some things on this podcast that was like, I don't know why she did that. He shouldn't have done that. And that kind of thing.
Yeah, she was in her feelings that day.
Yes, we've done that. But we've always said that the most important thing about this show was meeting family.
Yes.
And I think most people get that. But there's still a game competition part to this.
For $50,000.
Yeah, I mean this.
And these are regular people who have regular jobs. They're not reality show celebrities or anything. These are regular people. So in my mind, and this is my Trisha mind, $50,000 for their family could go a long way. So the $50,000 prize is important. Now, yes, they are there to meet their family, but they are also there to win a prize.
Right. And my thing about it is if that bothers you, then you should have told Relative Race, no, you don't want to participate, because that's going to bother you. And there would have been nothing wrong with that. There's a ton of people who don't get on social media today because they don't like the negativity. So, you shouldn't have done it. Now, I think this is going to be the last thing I say, and I'll let you comment and we can be done with this. Okay. My thing is, this whole situation was brought on by Casey.
Correct.
The way she acted is what caused all of this, and she said what she said. They didn't. I know they edit the show and to make it compelling and people want to watch. Absolutely, right. Every single show does that. But
it is TV.
If she had not said, I'm coming after Team Green and they are not my friends.
Right. This was 2 episodes in the making.
Yeah.
And I just want to remind everybody that Team Green they won 2 prizes. So they had to give a penalty to 2 teams on 2 different days. The first day, they penalized Team Red. And Team Red sat on the side of the road for 5 minutes while everybody else was driving. Were they upset about it? I'm sure they were. But they didn't say anything like Team Black said. And the next day, they penalized Team Black. And that was like unheard of that they would have done anything like that. That's my only thing. So it's not like they were picking on them or they were out to get Team Black. Strategically, that's what they did.
Yeah, and hey, Team Green did the right thing in my opinion. That's what they should have done. And so it's a game. It's not that big of a deal. You can be upset about it, but you say, okay, we're going to come back tomorrow. We're going to work hard, try not to have any mistakes. And then
they won,
just keep playing the game.
Yeah, they won a prize on, one of those occasions. They actually came in first place. And so I feel like that should have ended it then. And it just didn't.
But it didn't. It kept going. She started putting on the black paint and all that stuff on her face. And that was just too much. It's ridiculous. Be competitive, but... to me, this is all Casey's fault. So that's just my opinion. Okay. Now, and one thing I did think of before you say that, you might be getting ready to say what I'm going to say, was the whole taking a picture of the turn by turn directions
when they had the GPS when they won first place.
It may not sound like it, and I'm normally not on Team Black's side, and it's more Casey than Team Black, but. I totally agree with what they did.
Yeah, we said it in the podcast.
It was not cheating. They did it. Mm-hmm. It helped them. Good for them.
Right. What did they say on Real Housewives Reunion? Roll the tape. We said that in the podcast. But so those are our feelings. We ultimately love this show. We think it's a great show. It is a competition. We enjoy watching it. We like the teams. We want them to meet their family. We want their questions to be answered. So that doesn't take away from how we feel about the show.
Yeah. So, okay. That's
all. We're going to get into episode 7.
All right. So everybody started out just like normal the next morning of the race. And what we know now, or what we know about it, is that 2 teams had 1 strike to start the day, which was Team Red and
Team Green had 2 strikes.
1 strike. I said 1 strike.
Oh.
Team Red and Team Black has 1 strike. And then Team Blue and Team Green have 2 strikes.
Yes.
So it's an important day.
Yeah. And Team Red won immunity last week. So they are free of a strike no matter what position they come in today.
Right.
So it really is, because it's really in between 3 teams, although 4 teams are participating.
Yeah, and in my opinion, it's really 2 teams, because a strike by green or blue
they're going home. Correct.
So they really going to have to compete hard to make sure there's no mistakes, and they do what they need to do, on the challenge and all that good stuff. So
yeah.
Let's go ahead and get started.
Okay. So
with the rest of the episode.
Okay. Team Red got a interesting text at the very beginning of the day, earlier than they normally did, and it was just to them. It wasn't the group text to get in your car. They got a text from Dan, and it read that here's an address for someone special for you to meet. Leave now. And so they got in the car, they got the address, and they left. And they said everybody in the house was asleep when they left, so they didn't wake anybody up. And the address took them to the cemetery.
Right, where her grandmother, Jerome's mother, her dad, was buried. She died in, I think it said 2017.
Yes.
She was born in 1942. And so they were able to have, a private moment between those 2 at her grave.
Right, because that's one of the relatives that she met the day before was her grandmother's sister. Mary Louise or Martha Louise, I don't remember.
At the family reunion.
Right. It was her and her daughter were the 2 initial people that they met that day, yesterday.
Yep. So they got an extra little cheat, not cheating, a little extra benefit by winning the immunity last day for the previous day.
And so when the group text came out from Dan that it's time to go, they were at the cemetery. So then they left straight from the cemetery going to their next destination.
Yeah, so they had a choice right now. It's like, okay, do we play like we normally do, even though we are, we got immunity, we're good, or do we just take it easy? And we've seen both in the past.
Yes, we've seen a team go to the beach and have lunch and not do anything. And then we've seen a team work really hard to get first place.
Yeah, for me, what I think I would do is still compete and do everything like normal, but it would be more relaxed, moving, you know what I'm saying? But the benefit of winning was a good one.
Yeah,
so.
It was a 5-minute video call with anybody that they choose to talk to. And you have to understand that, this is a 10-day race around America, and they don't have any access to their phones or social media or anything. So they're away from their family, their kids, their parents for this whole time, and they don't get to talk to them. So 5 minutes of a video call, I'm sure it would be important to all of the teams.
Yeah, because Trisha and I asked her, I was like, have we ever been away from Wesley for more than 7 days? And
we have not.
We have not. I think the closest is like 5 days. Now, I personally, by myself, has been away for a week and a half, I think the most, for work. But both of us together have never been. So I'm sure that's hard, especially for them. They have younger kids. So mine is 18 now, so I can't wait to get away from him.
We need to get used to being away from him.
Yeah.
But before they got in the car, I just want to mention that Team Black, Casey's sister, gave her a sister bracelet that she made, and then one had big sister and the other had little sister, and it had charms on it. So I thought that was really nice. She made it herself, and she wanted to make sure that she gave something to Casey that she could wear and think of her, and I just thought that was really nice.
Yep. So everybody got their text messages from Dan, and it's time to go.
It's time to
the
go.
next place. So Trisha, by team, how much time did each team have today?
Okay, the green team had an allotted time of 1 minute and 52 minutes. The black team had an allotted time of 2 minutes and 21 minutes, 2 hours and 21 minutes. The blue team had an allotted time of 2 hours and 29 minutes, and the red team had 4 hours and 43 minutes, which was the longest time today.
That might be the longest
of the
season.
I don't think anybody hit over 4 minutes so far.
Yeah. Which is still
it's still not a bad drive.
Still not a bad drive. And, I think I said it earlier in the season. I think as anything at 5 hours or more, I'm getting on a plane.
This is true.
Now, we're in time of COVID. I wouldn't do it.
I was going to say, I think there's probably an exception, but
yeah, during non-COVID times,
right?
Yes, I'm on the plane for a trip that's going to take more than 5 hours.
So once they get in the car and they have, gotten on the exit and they're driving to their destination, Red sends out a group text to all the teams. Now, mind you, they have immunity. And their text says it doesn't matter where you start, it matters where you finish.
Very positive.
I didn't think it was anything wrong with that text.
She said she wrote, "Have a great day, 7."
Yes, she did. Have a great day, 7. I missed that part.
Very positive.
Yes, and then Team Black responded. I don't remember what they responded.
It wasn't positive.
I just remember that her text ended up with Team Green and Team Black trash talking each other for multiple texts. It wasn't just one, and then they responded and it was over. This was like probably 6 or 7 texts going back and forth just between Green and Black.
Yeah, and I feel like it was probably more than that they cut out.
True. It really could have been. But along with them texting back and forth, Team Green and Team Black missed an exit.
Yes, because they were looking at these text messages.
Correct. And then they got stuck in traffic, some kind of construction. And if they had gotten off the exit earlier where it said construction ahead, they could have gone around it.
Some people believe in karma, and some people don't. I've heard people say God don't like ugly. Just all these things. I'm just saying.
I'm just telling you what happened on the show.
Yeah.
So along with that, once they got to their actual city destination, Team Black had problems actually finding a sign to take their city selfie. They would pass by signs, but they couldn't get off. There wasn't a exit, or there wasn't a street for them to turn off on, or they couldn't just pull on the side of the road and take the city selfie very quickly. So they were driving around trying to find this city selfie longer than they usually have to drive around.
Yeah, and that was rough for them, and you can tell it was just bad on top of bad, on top of bad.
And it's like, it was just like once one thing happened, it just kept happening, and nothing went right for them.
It's like that snowball that's rolling downhill. You could just tell it wasn't going to be a good day for them. It was pretty rough.
Yeah, it was. But they finally got to the challenge. Everybody got to the challenge. And the challenge was where in the world?
Right. So you had to... so in this challenge, you had to get dressed like these pictures, and your teammate had to put on the board what country it was from, who the person was. It was just those two things.
Yeah, the flag. So, it was the flag.
Right. So they had to use the flag. So it wasn't a name. So you had to know country flags,
which I don't.
I knew some of them, most of them, but not all of them.
Yeah, no.
But the people that was on there, I could figure all of those out.
Yeah, it was like
so those are pretty
soldier,
easy.
emperor, knight, things like that.
No, they kept saying emperor.
Oh, that wasn't on the
board?
board?
An emperor. That was a soldier. So
I thought that was on the board. Oh, okay.
It may have been on the board, but it was like that person was not an emperor. Okay, the one they was portraying. I think you were just saying that was ones they can choose from.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, so then after they figure it out together... they switch, and the other team member had to do it.
Yeah,
so
they had to.
It was back and forth, and some struggled more than others, which you expect. Not everybody knows country flags.
I don't know country flags, so I would have just had to put a flag up every time and wait for the buzzer.
Well, luckily I know most flags, so I would have told you which one to do, but somebody did that. Like they would put every flag up until they got it.
I think it was Team Blue.
Yeah.
But another thing that was good is that they could talk amongst themselves, because usually if you are the person wearing the clothes or doing that, then you usually can't talk to the person trying to figure it out. But this one, they could talk to each other about it, and they could talk through it and figure it out together. So that, I'm sure that helped a lot.
Yeah. So everybody got done with their challenge, and it seemed to be pretty good. It didn't seem like anybody had just a huge problem. Right. But everybody got done, and now it's time to go to their relative's house. And so
I will say that after the challenge, Team Black was able to find somebody right outside of the challenge building that was able to give them turn-by-turn directions. So that may have helped them make up some time from when they were stuck in traffic earlier.
Yeah. And then the other team seemed to go to their
everybody else seems
pretty,
didn't have any
pretty easily
difficulties or anything like that.
Yep. So here's the relatives that every team met, and it's in order of when it happened on the show. So the first team they showed was Team Green, and Monica finally got to meet her birth mother, Robin.
Yes.
So that was good.
And she was able to get a lot of answers to some questions that she had. And you could just tell, because they were just standing there looking at each other, and then they would hug, and then they would look at each other, and then they would hug. So it was really emotional for them. But Robin told Monica that she knew she was going to place her for adoption at the hospital, and so she wanted to start a scrapbook for her then, because she knew that she wanted to reunite with her later on in her life, and she wanted to make sure that she knew that she was always thought about, and that she kept these mementos from the hospital. She kept letters from her adoptive parents that they wrote just updating her on Monica's life. And then she wrote a letter to Monica on her 30th birthday, on Monica's 30th birthday, just saying that, this was the hardest decision that I ever had to make. And I just wanted you to be healthy and happy and in a loving family. And that, that she thought about her and loved her every day. And so I just think that that was what she needed.
Yeah, she definitely needed that. Okay, so who was next on the relatives that
Team Red, and Devin met one of his cousins on his father's side.
Yeah, I think his name was Anthony. And I forget I didn't know if that was his another cousin or if that was Anthony's wife.
I think that was Anthony's wife because he said this is my. I think he said this is my wife.
Okay, so yeah, he got a chance to, see some pictures and another person to talk to try to figure out, which of those brothers of the how many ever.
They're still trying to narrow it down.
Was his dad. And it sounds like this is going to be more difficult than what he thought because they still don't know which of the 3 or 4. And apparently they're not able to be tracked down.
Correct.
So, and one thing I know, I bet you Dan track them down. So anyway, so the next one was Team Black. Casey finally met her mother.
Yes.
So
she
I
met
don't
her
remember
mom.
her name though.
I didn't write down her mom. I just said that she met her mother. But again, she had baby pictures of Casey that she had kept all these years and that from 5 months and younger. And that was the first time Casey had ever seen baby pictures. She's never seen a picture of herself younger than 1. So that was really special of her. And again, Casey got answers to questions. Her mom was able to tell her that, this was not what she wanted. She did everything that she could to be able to keep her, but she was not in a good place. She actually was living on the streets after she gave birth, and she just knew that wasn't the life that she wanted for Casey. Yeah,
and that's good for Casey because that was one of the things that she wanted to find out. So that's really good for her. Who was next?
Team Blue. Team Blue met their younger brother, Daniel.
They're getting so close.
I think so. I'm so glad. I'm just so glad they met somebody who wasn't a cousin.
Yeah, I was just really hoping that they, didn't get a strike so they can, because I feel like they're going to meet their mother next week.
I really hope so. But they asked Daniel if he grew up with their mom, and he said no, his father had custody of him from when he was 4 to 17. And then once he turned 17, he met his mom again and started living with her, and he's 24 now. So he's been with their mom ever since.
Yeah. So really good episode with the relatives that they met. We got 2 big ones with Casey and Monica meeting their mother and a brother. And so that's really good. So let's get to these results and go through where we are, because the closer we get to day 10, the more intense this becomes.
Yeah, and the quicker they seem to be able to get to their relative's house, it seemed like.
So the winner of today's episode, believe it or not, was Team Red.
Yes.
And they were shocked.
I was shocked.
I didn't think they were going to, because they
seemed like they were
trying, but not trying.
Like extra, like they did last week. I could tell that they had more intensity last week, but they came in 3 minutes under their time. So they actually had time to spare according to, how they performed. Yeah,
so they get a benefit of the next day getting a 5-minute video chat with whoever they want to. And of course,
I'm sure
they're going to choose their kids to talk to. And so that's good. And Liz was a little torn. She wanted to be happy, but she was sad because
that means
no one else is going to get to. So you could tell that they were shocked.
Yeah.
So who came in second place?
Team Green. They came in 1 minute under their time. So they did really good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's who you thought who was going to get first place.
Yeah, that was my guess. Was first place was Green.
Yep. So then it came down to Team Blue and Team Black. Remember, Team Blue has 2 strikes, and so I'm sure they were nervous. And
I was nervous.
Yep. So Yeah, because I did not want. I don't
Especially
want.
since they had just met their brother.
Yes, and I don't want them to leave before they meet their mother, or at least us see
Right.
them meet their mother.
Yeah.
And so, thankfully, Team Blue came in third place.
Yes, they did. They came in 9 minutes over their time, so they are safe.
And which means Team Black got their second strike.
Yeah, they were
which
29 minutes over.
They knew.
Yeah, they weren't shocked at all
We
because of
knew.
that traffic issue.
They just had issues today.
Yeah, so they were not shocked by it. But I will say that this is the first time this season that anybody has come under their time, so that was really good. And it's going to be day 8 and all 4 teams are still here. That doesn't happen every season.
Yeah, that's big time. I mean, it's still a chance that everybody can go to day 9.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's no way everybody can go to 10. So
Right, but you don't actually meet a relative on 10. It's just the competition
Right,
to end. So
but
if you make it to 9...
That's the big deal.
Right. I'm just saying if you make it to 9, you're guaranteed that you have met all your relatives.
Yeah. So, good episode.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot, riding on every challenge and every address. You really got to stay on top of your game.
Yeah, relative race is really keeping me at the edge of my seat.
Yep, it's really good. So, congratulations to Team Red. Mm-hmm. They're the only one with just one strike now.
So far.
And to the rest of the teams, congratulations on meeting your family. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to be a good start for them to add members to their family.
Definitely.
Yep. Seems like we've been doing that, or I guess I have personally.
You
been
have.
adding people to my family, which is pretty cool. So anyway, I think that's probably about it, right?
Yep, that's
You got
it.
anything else?
Just same time next week.
Yep. So we really appreciate you guys for listening. If you've been enjoying the recap of Relative Race, do us a favor and subscribe to the podcast, like and follow us on Journey Through the Generations Facebook page. I'll put all of our social media and website info down in the show notes of this episode. And come back next week. And we got an upcoming episode, midweek episode.
Yes, we do.
I think this is the one we talk about brick walls. Mm-hmm. And so be on the lookout for that. If you like if you subscribe to our episodes or to our podcast, you'll automatically get notified when a new episode is available. So anyway, I think we're going to end it there. Stay safe out there, y'all. Stay healthy. Wear a mask. Get vaccinated. Cover your mouth and nose when you sneeze. Wash your hands.
Love everyone.
Disinfect. And I think that's it.
Stay safe, guys.
All right. We'll talk to y'all later. Have a good one.